is Michael Hollins with the Hollins Bankruptcy Law Office, and I'm here today to give a little bit of holiday spending advice. But first, if you like any information on bankruptcy, credit repair, please go on over to Hollins Bankruptcy Law Office where you can get a lot of good information. Now, let's talk a little bit about holidays and spending. Now, if you're someone who maybe you've lost your job at some point during this COVID season, or you're struggling maybe even to make ends meet, or even if you're furloughed or you were furloughed, you want to make sure that you're spending with caution. If there ever is a time to pinch pennies, now is that time. Especially if you're concerned about where you might get money to pay for your shelter payments or pay for food or clothing or other necessities. If you're concerned about where those monies will come from, you want to be sure that you're spending within your means. Now, one way to do that is by setting a holiday shopping budget, which the budget you set will allow you to continue to pay your shelter payments with no problem. Now, one way to do that is to simply use cash. Pull the cash out of the account, and that is the monies that you spend. Or the alternative, which is a debit card. But if you are like a lot of people have a hard time staying within that budget or simply spending the cash that you allotted for the holiday season, you may want to go a step further. You may want to actually set up a whole separate bank account with its own checks and or debit card just for the holiday season so that you know and you can check the balance. When that balance is zero, then the holiday spending is over. Now, there was a time where cash was king and we would actually go to the stores, we would spend cash and receive cash. But in the COVID season, we're not so much trying to touch and feel different surfaces, handling money, and not necessarily getting and receiving change in that regard. But if you are one of those folks, then you may want to consider using the envelope system. And this is something that is old school. It was a time where you actually got a check from your job. You had to take the check to the bank or to the check cashing place, and they would actually give you cash in your hand. And that happened every week or every 2 weeks. And you would take that cash and pay your bills. Well, one thing that folks would do at that time is they would have different envelopes and they would write on the envelope what the monies in that envelope were for. So you absolutely could have an envelope that said holiday presents or Christmas spending. And then once that envelope is done, then you know you have no more monies. So that is absolutely an option that you could have. Feel free to put monies on a gift card, stick it in an envelope. When that gift card is done, you are done. When the money is gone, the money is gone. So now the money is gone. Maybe you still have some presents you'd like to buy, or you'd like people to know I was thinking about them, but the well has run dry. Well, now's the time that you can be creative. You can actually use your God given gifts and talents to actually gift to someone. How about that? Using your God given gifts to gift to someone. So simply just calling somebody up and checking on them, FaceTiming someone, sending them an email, a wellness text. That's something that I like to do. It's just from time to time, I'll send a text message. Hey, wellness check. You okay? Just a text letting them know, happy holidays. I'm thinking about you. Good vibes to you. I'm praying for you. These are actually gifts. You're letting your presence be a present in that regard. I'll say it again. You're letting your presence be known to someone, and that in itself is a present. Now, this means that we're going to have a much simpler Christmas this year. So just kind of wrap your mind around that. This Christmas is not going to be houses full of families going to parties, eating at family house here, going to family house there. This is going to be a much simpler Christmas, but it doesn't mean that we don't have to be connected. So my advice with holiday spending to end this blog and this podcast is to simply say, let your presence, above all, be a present to someone. Reach out and do a wellness check. Thank you for listening. I am attorney Michael Hollins, and I will catch you next time.